Hello my scholars, you are welcome to my school channel. My name is Frank, and in this lesson video we'll be solving JAMB CBT mathematics past question for the year 2023. Please do not go away, we'll be right back. Welcome back to my school channel. So in this lesson video, we are going to be solving question 21 to question 40. So let's kick off with question 21. A coin is thrown 3 times. What is the probability that at least one head is obtained? So let's move over to the board to do justice to this. Okay, we know that probability is equals to number of required outcome over total number of outcome. So for this question, we are going to be needing a table. Okay, so let's prepare our table. So our table is going to be in this format. Okay, our table is going to be in this format. So of course we know that a coin has 2 faces, the head and the tail. So here we'll put head and here we'll put tail. Of course, remember that in the question we are told that a coin was thrown 3 times. So on the vertical side here, we are assuming that we've already gotten the outcome of throwing the coin twice. Okay, so the outcome of throwing the coin twice is head, head, tail, tail. We can go head, tail, and tail, head. Okay, so we simply multiply out. So head, head times head will give us head, head. Then here we'll be having head, head, tail. Here we'll be having tail, tail, head. Here becomes tail, tail, tail. Here will be head, tail, head. Here will be head, tail, tail. And here we'll be having tail, head, head. And lastly, we'll be having tail, head, tail. Okay, so we just count what we have in the table. So if we count, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that means our total number of outcome is what? Is 8. Okay, our total number of outcome is 8. But we are asked to find the probability of getting at least a head. So we are going to count this outcome. Okay, we are going to count this outcome, any of them that has head, we are going to count it. So here we have 3 heads here. So we'll count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so the number of required outcome is equals to 7. So therefore we can say probability of at least head, okay, at least head is equals to 7 over 8. So let's move over to the screen to pick our answer. So from our calculation, our answer is actually 7 over 8, which is option A. Question 22. Find the equation of straight line passing through points 2 and 3 and perpendicular to the line 3x plus 2y plus 4 is equals to 0. So let's move over to the board. Of course, we have formulas for finding the equation of straight line. Okay, and it is given as y minus y1 is equals to m2 then x minus x1. Okay, but then we need to get the value of m. Okay, m2 actually stands for gradient. So how can we get our gradient? We can get it from here by comparing it with the original equation of straight line, which is given as y is equals to mx plus c. Okay, ms plus c. So this equation here, we are going to put it in the same form as this. Okay, so to do that, we'll be having 2y is equals to minus 3x minus 4. So we divide both sides by 2. So that y is equals to minus 3 over 2s minus 4 over 2. So we now have this equation in this format. Of course, m here stands for gradient. Okay, so we can call this m1. M here stands for gradient. So that means our m1 is equals to minus 3 over 2. But we are told that the equation is perpendicular to this line. Okay, so here we have to apply the condition for perpendicularity. And the condition for perpendicularity is m1, m2 is equals to m1, m2 is equals to minus 1. Okay, so since we already know the value of m1 to be minus 3 over 2, then we can get the value of m2. So m2 is now equals to minus 1 divided by minus 3 all over 2, and that will give us 2 all over 3. Minus, we cancel minus, then you invert. Okay, so let's substitute this value into the equation. Of course, we know that our 2 and 3 are the points, okay, and 2 here represents x1, y3 here represents y1. So if we substitute, we'll be having y minus 3 is equals to 2 over 3 bracket x minus 2. So we multiply both sides by 3. So if we multiply both sides by 2, we'll be having 3y minus 9 is equals to, then we open this bracket here. So this will give us 2x minus 4. Okay, so we simply collect like terms. So we move minus 9 to the other side of the equation, so that 3y is equals to 2x minus 4 plus 9. So 3y is now equals to 2x plus 5. Let's move over to the screen to see if our answer is among the options. So for what I can see on the screen, option D is the correct answer. 3y is equals to 2s plus 5. Question 23. Differentiate the function y is equals to cube root of s squared, bracket open, 2s minus s squared, bracket close. So let's move over to the board. So, of course, this is our equation. This is the function which we were asked to differentiate. Okay, cube root of s squared, bracket open, 2s minus s squared. So we can rewrite cube root of s squared as x raised to power 2 over 3. Okay, applying the law of indices. So we open our bracket again, 2x minus s squared in bracket. Then we multiply out. So if we multiply out, we'll be having 2x raised to power 2 over 3 plus 1. Of course, the power of x here is 1. So we apply the law of indices here. So that's how we got our 1. Then minus x raised to power 2 over 3 plus 2. Okay, so tidying this up, we'll be having 2x raised to power 5 over 3 minus x raised to power 8 over 3. Then we differentiate. Okay, this still remains our function. So we differentiate the y, the x will now be equals to, of course, in differentiation, first of all, use the power of x to multiply the whole term. Then you minus 1 from the power in order to get the new power of x. So this will give us 5 over 3 times 2. Then you'll be having x raised to power 5 over 3 minus 1. Then we do the same thing to the second term, which is minus 8 over 3. Then x raised to power 8 over 3 minus 1. So let's clean this up. So here we'll be having 10 over 3. S raised to power 2 over 3. Then minus 8 over 3. S raised to power 5 over 3. So our final answer becomes 10x raised to power 2 over 3 all over 3 minus 8 over 3x 5 over 3. Let's move over to the screen to pick the correct option. So from our calculation, the correct option is option B. 10s raised to power 2 over 3 minus 8s raised to power 5 over 3 over 3. Question 24. Calculate the mean deviation of the first 5 prime numbers. So let's move to our board to do that. Okay, so first of all, the first 5 prime numbers, let's list them out. Prime numbers, okay, the first 5, they are 2, 3, 5, 7, and 11. So these are the first 5 prime numbers, and we are asked to calculate their mean deviation. So we know that the formula for calculating mean deviation is given as summation, okay, bar, x minus x bar, then brackets all over n. Okay, of course, these straight line brackets, they actually means absolute value. So let's go. Now, of course, you know that our S bar is actually equals to mean. So our mean is equals to 2 plus 3 plus 5 plus 7 plus 11 divided by, of course, there are 5 numbers there. So this will be equals to 5.6. Then we can now move ahead to calculate our mean deviation, which is, in this case, we'll be having 2 minus 5.6, close your bracket, then plus 3 minus 5.6, close your bracket, plus 5 minus 5.6, bracket close, plus 7 minus 5.6, bracket close, plus 11 minus 5.6, bracket close, all over 5. Of course, these values you are seeing here, they are referred to as absolute value. So 2 minus 5.6 is going to give us minus 3.6, but the absolute value of minus 3.6 is equal to 3.6. So I'm just going to be taking these values. Okay, that will give us 3.6 plus 2.6 plus 0.6 plus 1.4 plus 5.4 all over 5. So summing this up, we're having 13.6 divided by 5. And this will be equals to 2.72. So let's move over to our screen to pick the correct option. So from our calculation, the correct option is option A, which is 2.72. Question 25. Determine the area of the region bounded by y is equals to 2x squared plus 10 and y is equals to 4x plus 16. So let's move over to our board to do justice to that question. Okay, so we are asked to find the region bounded by y is equals to 2x squared plus 10 and y is equals to 4x squared plus 16. Okay, 4x plus 16. So first thing first, if you are given a question like this, first thing first is to find or calculate the point of intersection of the 2 points. So to get the point of intersection of the two lines, what we simply do is we equate both values of y. So 2x squared plus 10 should be equals to 4x plus 16. So let's quickly collect like terms. So move forward to this side, we'll be having 2x squared minus 4x, then plus 10 minus 16. So this will be equals to 0. So that 2x squared minus 4x, then minus 6 is equals to 0. Of course, we can divide through by 2. So dividing through by 2, we're having x squared minus 2x minus 3 is equals to 0. Okay, so the next step is to factorize this quadratic equation. Factorizing this quadratic equation, we'll be having x plus 1 in bracket, then bracket open, x minus 3 is equals to 0. Of course, what we have in each of these brackets is equals to 0. So that at the end of the day, the value of s is equals to minus 1 or 3. Now that we have calculated the point of intersection of the curve and the straight line equation, next is for us to find the region bounded by these 2 points. Okay, now to get the region bounded by this point, we make use of this formula, integral of upper function minus minus lower function in bracket dx. Okay, of course, here you set it as b and a, which is our limit. Of course, the essence of this x, the value of x, for us to get our limit. So let's substitute. Of course, the second equation here is our upper limit, while this is our lower limit. So upper limit becomes integral of course, the highest value here is 3. So put our 3 here, then you'll have our minus 1. So let's put this in bracket. So we'll be having 4x plus 16 in bracket minus 2x squared plus 10 in bracket, or dx. So let's tidy up this. So that we'll be having 3, then 1. Then this will give us 4x. Okay, this will be giving us 4x plus 16 minus 2x squared, then minus 10 in bracket. Okay, so let's move to the other part of the board. So this will give us the integral of, let's apply our limits first, 3, and let's write down our limit first, 3 and 1. So this will be minus 2x squared plus 4x, then plus 6, all in bracket, ds. Now, we cannot differentiate, okay, and apply our limit. So, differentiating, we'll be having, if I differentiate this, I'll be having minus 2s raised to power 3 all over 3 plus 4s squared all over 2 plus 6x. Okay, we must indicate our limits, which is 3 and minus 1. So let's break it down further. So this will give us minus 2s cubed all over 3 plus 2s squared plus 6x. So write down our limit. Now we can apply our limit. Okay, so this becomes minus 2 bracket open 3 raised to power 3 all over 3 plus 2 bracket open 3 raised to power 2 plus 6 bracket open 3. Okay, then minus 2 bracket open minus 1 raised to power 3 all over 3 plus 2 bracket open minus 1 all over 2 plus 6 bracket open minus 1. Okay, so if we sum this up, we are going to be having 18. Okay, minus 1 on this other part, we'll be having minus 10 all over 3. So that minus will become plus, so that we'll be having 18 plus 10 all over 3. So this will give us 64 all over 3. So let's move over to our screen to pick the correct option. Okay, so from what I've done on the board, the correct option to this question is option D, which is 64 all over 3. Question 26. Find the value of y if 402 in base y is equals to 102 in base 10. So we are asked to find the value of y if 402 in base y is equals to 102 in base 10. Okay, so here what we simply do is we first of all convert this value on our left hand side to base 10. Okay, since what we have on our right hand side is already in base 10. So converting this to base 10, let's just use the idea of what we were taught in just 1. So you just do this. So this becomes 4 times y raised to power 2 plus 0 times y raised to power 1 plus 2 times y raised to power 0 is equals to 102 in base 10. Okay, so now that everything is in base 10, so this will give us 4y squared. Of course, 0 times y is equals to 0, so this is already out. Then plus, of course, any value raised to power 0 is 1, so this will give us 2 is equals to 102. Okay, we move to the other side, so that we're having 4y squared is equals to 102 minus 2. So 4y squared is equals to 100. Of course, we are looking for y, so we divide both sides by 4. Okay, so that y squared is equals to 25. Now, since we are looking for y, not y squared, then we take the square root of both sides. So taking the square root of y squared, that will give us y, and the square root of 25, which will give us plus or minus 5. So we can say, of course, we only need the positive one, not the negative one, so that we can say y is equals to 5. So let's move over to our screen to pick the correct option. So from our calculation, the correct option for the value of y is equals to 5, which is option C. Question 27. Find the value of y if log y plus 8 plus log y minus 8 is equal to 2 log 3 plus 2 log 5. So let's move over to the board to solve this. Okay, so this is the problem that we are asked to solve, that we should find the value of y there. So of course, logarithm, just like indices, also have some laws too. Okay, so we are going to be applying the law of logarithm here in order to solve this question. Okay, so according to the law of logarithm, whenever we say plus, of course, that means we are multiplying the powers. Now, of course, if you look at these logs here, you discover that there's no base. Okay, so since there's no base, what that means is that we are actually working in base 10. Okay, so the base that is actually here is actually to base 10. So take note of that. So all the bases are the same. right? So applying the law of logarithm, this becomes log, bracket open, y plus 8 in bracket times y minus 8 in bracket. Of course, I said it earlier on that in logarithm, once you have plus, what you simply do is that you multiply both numbers, okay? Then on this other side, let's rewrite this. So this is the same thing as say log 3 raised to power 2 plus log 5 raised to power 2. So here we'll be having log. Of course, if you look at this, this is difference of 2 square. So this is the same as say y square minus 64. Okay, y here we'll be having, of course, this is 3 raised to power 2. So here we'll be having log. Of course, we still apply the same law of indices here. Sorry, so this will give us 9, then times this will give us 25. Okay, since the base of the log are the same, then the logs can cancel out. So log 10, log base 10 here, we cancel out log base 10 here, so that we have y squared minus 64 is equals to, of course, 9 times 25 will be equals to 225. Okay, so we collect like terms here because we're having y squared minus 64 equals to 225. So we move minus 65 to the other side of the equal to. Okay, so that y squared is equals to 225 plus 64. So 225 plus 64 will be equals to 289. So that y squared is equals to 289. Okay, now we are looking for the value of y, not the value of y squared. So what do we do to get the value of y? We simply take the square root of both sides. So that if I take the square root of y squared, I'll be having y. Okay, and if I take the square root of 289, I'll be having plus or minus 17. So let's move over to our screen to pick the correct option. So from our calculation, our correct option is option C, which is y is equals to plus or minus 17. Do you know that you can practice with our simulated JAMB CBT past questions? All you have to do is to click on the link in the description below, and that will take you to my school website. There, you have to download my school mobile app for your Android devices and my school software for your laptop and computers. Please go ahead and start practicing. Moving on to question 28. In a group of 500 people, 350 people can speak English and 400 people can speak French. Find how many people can speak both languages. So let's move over to the board to do justice to that question. Okay, so this is a question that we have to make use of Venn diagram. So we are told that the number of people who can speak English is 350. Okay, according to the question, and the number of people who can speak French is 400. Okay. Now, the number of group of people, which is E union F, is equals to 500. Okay, so we are asked to find N, E intersect F, okay, which is what we don't know. So we are going to be using Venn diagram. So our Venn diagram will be like this. Okay, where here the first circle represents number of those or people speak English. So we'll put E there. Y here will represent number of those who speak French. Okay. Y here, let's represent it with X, number of those who speak both language. Okay. But remember that N union E union F, okay, in bracket is equals to the number of those who can speak English, okay, minus the number of those who can speak both language, which is N. Okay, N is a bracket open, N union F, then plus the number of those who can speak French. Okay, but here will be 350, okay, minus X. While here will be 400 minus X. Now, the reason why we are minusing X because we're actually looking for the number of persons who can speak French only. Okay, the number of persons who can speak French only. These values that are given to us as well include the number of those who can speak both language. Okay, so if we substitute, we're having 350 minus X. Then, sorry, I made a little mistake here. This is supposed to be plus Okay, it's supposed to be plus. So 350 minus x plus x, then plus 400 minus x. So minus we cancel out minus. Of course, this is equals to 500. Okay, so that 500 is equals to, we sum these two up, that will give us 750 minus x. Of course, we can move s to the other side, or we can move 750 to this side. So that we'll be having 500 minus 750 is equals to minus s. So 500 minus 750 will give us minus 250 is equals to minus x. So that minus we cancel minus. Therefore, our s is equals to 250. Okay. So this means that we have 250 persons or people in the group who can speak both language. So let's move over to the screen to pick out the correct option. So from our calculation, our correct option is option C, which is 250. I believe you are enjoying this video content. If yes, please do not forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell to get informed as soon as we upload new videos. Question 29. Factorize 16x raised to power 4 minus y raised to power 4. So let's move over to the board. Okay, so first thing first, let's break these values down further. Okay, so if we break this 16 down further, that will give us 2 raised to power 4, s raised to power 4 minus y raised to power 4. Okay, minus y raised to power 4. Then this raised to power 4, so we can still break them down further. Okay, so this becomes 2 raised to power 2, then s raised to power 2 in bracket raised to power 2, then minus y raised to power 2 in bracket raised to power 2. So now we are now having difference of two squares. Okay, so to factorize difference of two squares, what we simply do is we take one of the term, which is 2 raised to power 2, then s raised to power 2 minus y raised to power 2, put it in bracket, then open another bracket, 2 raised to power 2, then s raised to power 2 minus y raised to power 2, also plus y raised to power 2, also in brackets. If you look at the bracket on our left hand side, it's still difference of two squares, so we can still factorize it further. So this becomes, of course, this becomes 2x in bracket minus y in bracket, then 2x plus y in bracket. Of course, let's tidy up this. So this is the same as say 4s squared plus y squared. So we are done factorizing this question. So let's move over to our screen to pick out our correct option. So from what we have done thus far, our correct option is option A, 2s minus y in bracket, then bracket 2s plus y, and 4s squared plus y squared in brackets. Question 30. Okay, so if set A has the following elements, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and set B have this element 2, 4, 6, 8. Find A minus B union B minus A. Okay, so first of all, let's interpret what A minus B means. Okay, so A minus B in set simply means all the elements that are in A that is not in B. Okay, that is what we mean by A minus B. So let's bring the elements out. So A minus B. So A minus B means all the elements that are in A that is not in B. Okay, so here all the elements are 1, 3 is not found in B, then 5 is not also in B. So let's go for B minus A. So B minus A means the same thing as all the elements, okay, that are in B that is not in A. So let's bring out the element. So all the elements that are in B that is not in A are, that is 8. Okay, I think that is the only element. Okay, 8 is the only element that is found in B that is not in A. So, but we are asked to find A minus B union B minus A. So union means we should combine all the elements together. So this will be equal to, open your curly bracket, 1, 3, 5, and 8. Okay, so let's move over to the screen to pick our correct option. Okay, so our correct option is option A, which contain all the elements, which is 1, 3, 5, and 8. Question 31. A bag contains 8 red balls and some white balls. If the probability of drawing a white ball is half of the probability of drawing a red ball, then find the probability of drawing a red ball and a white ball if the balls are drawn without replacement. So let's move over to our board. So from our question, we know that the number of red balls is equals to 8 and the number of white balls. Of course, the number of white balls we are not given. So we say let the number of white balls be x. Okay, but remember that probability is equals to number of required outcome. Take note of this formula, it's very important. Number of required outcome all over total number of outcome. Okay, so for us to get the total outcome, so total outcome is equals to 8 plus x. Okay, so to get the probability of red balls is now equals to 8 all over 8 plus s. Then probability of white ball, okay, of picking a white ball is x over 8 plus x. Okay, but we are told that, according to the question, that the probability of picking a white ball is half of the probability of drawing a red ball. So this is the probability of picking a white ball and is half of the probability of picking a red ball. So in this case, we'll be having x over 8 plus s is equals to 1 over 2. Okay, x over 8 plus s represent the probability of picking a white ball. Okay, while 8 over 8 plus s represent the probability of picking a red ball. So that becomes 8 over 8 plus x. Of course, 2 can cancel here. 2 can cancel 2 to give us 1. 2 can cancel 8 to give us 4. So that we are now having x over 8 plus x is equals to 4 over 8 plus s. Now, if you watch carefully, the denominators are the same. So if the denominators are the same, then we can equate the numerator. So therefore, we can say x is equals to what? Is equals to 4. So of course, s here represents the number of white balls. So that means the number of white balls is actually equals to what? Equals to 4. So that our total outcome now becomes, okay, let me write it here. Total outcome now becomes, total outcome is now equal to 8 plus 4. Okay, since our s is equals to 4, which will give us 12. Okay. Now, we were asking the question to find the probability of drawing a red ball and a white ball if the balls are drawn without replacement. Of course, in probability, and means times. Okay, in probability, and means times. So probability of drawing a red ball and a white ball without replacement, okay, without replacement will be equal to probability of drawing a red ball, okay, will be 8 over 12. Then times the probability of drawing a white ball. Now, since we have drawn a red ball, okay, without replacement, it's going to affect our total outcome. So in drawing a white ball, we are choosing white ball out of 11 balls in total that are left. So in this case, this becomes 4 over 11. So 4 here is 3 and 4 here is 1. So we multiply out. So 8 times 1 is 8. Then 3 times 11 is 33. So let's move over to the screen to pick our correct option. So from our calculation, we got 8 over 33. So the correct option is option D. Question 32. The ages of students in a small primary school were recorded in the table below. So we have the ages ranging from 5 to 6, 7 to 8, 9 to 10. Then we have the frequency. Okay, 29, 40, and 38. So we are asked to estimate the median. So let's move over to our board, okay, so that we can solve this question. Of course, this question is about group data, okay, for about group data. And the formula for finding the median of a group data is given as L1 plus bracket open n over 2 minus CFB bracket close over FM, okay, times C. Okay, so what does each of these terms mean? So L1 here means the lower class boundary. Okay, L1 means lower class boundary. While N here means the summation of the frequency. Okay, then CFB here means cumulative frequency before. Okay, cumulative frequency before. While FM here means frequency of the median. Okay, frequency of the median. While C here stands for class size, or some textbook we say class width. Okay, so let's solve this. Now we will have to prepare a table. Okay, so this is our age. Then here we have our class boundary. Okay, we have our class boundary here. Okay, while here we have our frequency. Okay, for F. While here we have our cumulative frequency. Okay, let me use the word Cm dot FREQ. Okay, so let's get the ages. So the ages is 5 to 6, 7 to 8, and 9 to 10. Of course, how do we get our class boundary? Subtract 0.1 from here, from 5, and add 0.1 to 6. So that will give us our lower and upper class boundary. So our lower class boundary is 4.5, while our upper class boundary will be 6.5. So we'll do the same thing here, 6.5, and this will give us 8.5. So here will be 8.5, and here will be 10.5. Of course, the respective frequencies are 29, 40, and 38. Okay, so if we sum this up, I think this will be equals to 107. Okay, this will give us 107. Now let's get our cumulative frequency. Now to get our cumulative frequency, what we do is we add 0 to 29. So we add 0 to 29, that will be 29. Then we add 29 to this value here. Okay, so that will give us 69. Then we'll add 69 to this, to 38, and that will give us 107. Okay, that will give us 107. Now, let's find the position of the median class. Okay, let's find the position of the median class. So when we added all the frequencies, we actually got 107. The 107 is an odd number. So what we simply do is that 107, which is n, so this 107, we add 1 to it and divide it by 2. So 107 plus 1 divided by 2. I think this will give us 54. Okay, this will give us 54. So the median class occur in the 54th position. So how do we find the 54th position? Now you go to your frequency table, okay, and locate where 54 will fall under. So 29 is less than 54. So 54 cannot be in 29. So 54 will be in 69. Okay, 54 will be in 69. So since 54 is in 69, then our lower class boundary, okay, of the median class will be 6.5. Okay, so our L1 will be equals to 6.5. Now, CFB here means cumulative frequency before the median class. Okay, cumulative frequency before the median class. So CFB is equals to 29. Okay, then FM means frequency of the median class. Of course, the frequency of the median class is 40. So let's write it out. FM is equals to 40. Now, next is for us to determine our class size, okay, or class width. Now, to get our class width, what we simply do is we minus the lower class boundary, okay, of the first class from the lower class boundary of the second class. So in this case, we're having 6.5 minus 4.5. So that will be equals to 2. Now that we have gotten all these values, so let's substitute into our formula. Of course, our formula is median is equals to L1 plus n over 2 minus CFB in bracket over FM times C. Okay, let me cover the whole thing with brackets. Okay, Fm minus Fm times C. So let's substitute. So this will give us 6.5 plus, of course, our frequency is equals, our total frequency is equals to 107. So here we fix our 107 over 2, then minus our cumulative frequency before the median class, which is 29. Okay, bracket close, divided by 40, then times 2. So this becomes 6.5 plus, of course, this will give us 54. Okay, minus 54.5 minus 29 all over 40 times 2. Okay, so if we tidy this part up, we'll be having 6.5 plus 1.225. So adding these two together, this will give us 7.725. So the median that we are actually calculating for is 7.725. So let's move over to the screen to pick the correct option. So from our calculation, the correct option is option A, which is 7.725. Question 33. So we are asked to find the matrix A. So matrix A is multiplied by one matrix, or the first matrix in the bracket, then equals to the second matrix. Okay, so let's move over to the board and provide solution to that problem. Okay, so since we don't know what matrix A represents, so we can say let matrix A, okay, let matrix A be equal to, okay, so matrix A as well can still be 2 by 2 matrix. Okay, W, X, then Y, then Z. Okay, so the reason why I cross my Z so that we're not confusing with 2. So we are now having matrix A, which is W, Y, X, then Z, multiplied by 0, 2, 1, minus 1, to be equals to 2, 1, minus 1, and 0. Okay, so we multiply out. Of course, in multiplying, we multiply this way. Okay, we multiply like this. Okay, so WS is going to multiply 0, 2. So in this case, we'll be having W times 0 plus, okay, W times 0, then plus X times 2, that will give us 2X. Okay, then let's do the same thing for the other side, which is W times 1, that will give us W, then plus S times minus 1, which will give us minus X. Okay, bracket. Now let's move on to the second row. Okay, so the second row will multiply also the first column and multiply the second column. So Y times 0 plus X plus Z times 2. So that will give us 2Z. Then let's move on to the last column, which is Y times 1. That will give us Y. Then plus Z times minus 1. That will give us minus Z. Okay, so let's put it in brackets. Okay, so 0 go off because W times 0 is 0. So we are now having 2X. Let me open my bracket first. Then W minus X. Okay, Y here will be having 2Z. Then we'll be having Y minus Z, all in bracket. So this equals to the second matrix, which is 2, minus 1, 1, and 0. Of course, these numbers are the element of this matrix. So we cannot compare. So how do we compare? Matrix, the first entry in the first column, you must compare with the first entry in the first column. Or you can say the first entry in the first row with the first entry in the second row. So this will be equals to 2x will be equals to 2. So that S is equals to 1 if we divide. Okay, then let's do the same thing to Z. So 2Z will be equals to 1. So that Z is equals to 1 over 2. Okay, so let me divide here. Let's make use of this place. But remember here we are having W minus X is equals to, of course, this case, this is the first entry in the second column. Should also be equal to the first entry in the second column. So W minus X must be equals to minus 1. Okay, w minus s must be equals to minus 1. Okay, but remember that our s is equals to minus 1. So if I bring my w minus 1 here will be equals to minus 1. Okay, I've replaced my x with the value which is 1. So move minus 1 to the other side, then w should be equals to minus 1 plus 1. That will be equals to 0. Okay, of course we do the same thing to y minus z, which is also equals to 0. Okay, now our z is already 1 over 2. So y is minus 1 over 2 is equals to 0. So that y is equals to minus, y is equals to plus 1 over 2. So we cannot get our matrix A. Of course, we said matrix A, let matrix A be w, y, x, and z. So let's substitute, or let's put the value of x and y that we got from our calculation. So we know that our x, our w, first of all, our w is equals to 0, so here is 0, while our x is 1, so here will be 1. Then our y is 1 over 2. Then our z is also 1 over 2. So these are the elements of matrix A. So let's move over to the screen to pick the correct option. So from our calculation, the correct option is option B, okay, which is 0, 1, then 1 over 2, 1 over 2. Question 34. Okay, so we are given this histogram that we should calculate the number of students who scored at least 25%. Okay, so to do this, what we simply do is we trace the bars, okay, to the vertical as which contains the number of students. Okay, so they said how many students scored at least 25%. Okay, how many students score at least 25%? Now, at least 25% means from 25 upward. Okay, so for 25 upward, we trace, this is the bar. So if we trace, for the first one, we'll be having 5, then plus. Now, from those who scored 50 to 75, so if we trace, that will give us 3 plus. Now, those who scored 75, between 75 and 100, so if we trace to the vertical, that will give us 8. So when we add everything together, this will be 8 plus 8, and that will be equals to 16. Okay, so the answer to this question is 16, which is option A. Question 35. If minus 2x cubed plus 6x squared plus 17x minus 21 is divided by x plus 1, then the remainder is, of course, this is a polynomial question. So we are going to be, okay, solving it as such. Okay, so the polynomial is already here, and we are asked to divide this polynomial by x plus 1. Okay, so, and we are asked to find the remainder. So we are going to be applying the remainders theorem. Okay, we are going to be applying the remainders theorem. So what we simply do here, okay, let me put the solution. So here, we just equate the s plus 1 to 0. Okay, they call it divisor. Okay, s plus 1, we equate it to 0. So that s is equals to minus 1. So now that we already know the value of minus 1, we just go back to the original polynomial and substitute the value of x inside. So we are having minus 2x raised to power 3 plus 6x squared plus 17x minus 21. Okay, so with this we can get the remainder. So anywhere we see s, we replace it with minus 1. Just come here, we have minus 2 bracket minus 1 cube plus 6 bracket minus 1 square plus 17 bracket minus 1, then minus 21. Of course, this will give us 2, okay, because 1 raised to power 3 is still minus 1. Then minus 1 times minus 2 will give us 2. Then plus, of course, minus 1 raised to power 2, minus 1 raised to power 2, yes, will be equals to 1. So 6 times 1 will give us 6. Then, now here we're having 17 times minus 1, that will give us minus 17, then minus 21. Of course, this will give us 8, while this will give us 38. Okay, so 8 minus 38, that will be equals to minus 30. So the remainder, when this polynomial is divided by x plus 1, is equals to minus 30. So let's move over to our screen to pick the correct option. Okay, so from our calculation, we got minus 30, which is option C. Question 36. Let a binary operation star be defined on a set A. The operation will be commutative if, of course, by commutative, we simply mean, let's take for example, if I'm having 2 plus 3, my answer is going to be 5. And if I'm having 3 plus 2, my answer is going to be 5. Okay, so whether the 2 comes first or the 3 comes first, my answer still remains the same. Of course, we know that addition and multiplication are commutative. Okay, so A happens to be the correct answer. This is A star B is also equals to B star A. Okay, so option B here is about associative. Okay, it's talking about associative property. While C here is talking about distributive property. Okay, so how can you distinguish between both of them? Now, for associative properties, okay, the operators are the same. While for distributive, the operators are different. So that leaves us with option A as our final answer. Question 37. Solve the following quadratic inequality. S squared minus x minus 4 is less than or equal to 2. So let's move over to the board. Okay, so let us rearrange this equation. So s squared minus x minus 4. So we move 2 to our left hand side. So that will be minus 2 is less than or equal to 0. So we'll be having s squared minus x minus 6 is less than or equal to 0. So at this point, we can replace our less than or equal to with equal, okay, with just equal to and solve, okay, normally the way we solve quadratic equation. So this becomes s squared minus x minus 6 is equals to 0. So let us factorize. So factorizing will be having x plus 2 in bracket and x minus 3 in bracket is equals to 0. So that s is equals to minus 2 or 3. So at this point, we have to test to know whether the value of s lies between minus 2 and 3 or not. Okay, so what we do here is we choose a value that is between minus 2 and 3. Okay, so let's assume, let's take s is equals to 0. 0 is between minus 2 and 3. So we now substitute this into the original equation and see if we will have a value that is less than or equal to 2. So s squared minus x minus 4 is less than or equal to 2. So let's replace x. Okay, let's replace x with 0. So this will be 0 squared minus 0 minus 4 is less than or equal to 2. So this becomes minus 4 is less than or equal to 2. So this is true. Okay, minus 4 is less than or equal to 2. So that means the value of s actually lies between minus 2 and 3. So our answer becomes minus 2 is less than or equal to x or less than or equal to 3. So let's move over to the screen to pick the correct option. So the correct option according to our calculation is option B. Minus 2 is less than or equal to x and x is less than or equal to 3. Do you have any question to ask? If yes, click on the link in the description below and that will take you to my school website. There you can ask all your questions and solution will be provided to you within a short period of time. Moving on to question 38. What is the general term of the sequence? 3, 8, 13, and 18. Okay, we know that the nth term or the general term of a sequence is given as Tn is equals to A plus n minus 1 times D, where A stands for the first term, D stands for the common difference, and n stands for the number of terms. So our first term is equals to 3, then our common difference is equals to 5, okay, which is 8 minus 3 or 13 minus 8 or 18 minus 13. Okay, so let's substitute this into the general term and we'll be having 3 plus n minus 1 times 5. Okay, then we open up this bracket, that will give us 3 plus 5n minus 5. So we rearrange this so that we'll be having 5n minus 2. Okay, so from our calculation, option A agrees with our solution. 5n minus 2. Do you have better explanation or steps in solving any of these questions? If yes, please go to the comment section and comment the question number and the explanation you wish to share. Question 39. The locus of a point equidistant from two intersecting lines is A, where the sum of the distances of two focal points is fixed. B, the collection of points that are equally distant from a fixed point and a line. C, the perpendicular bisector of the lines. D, pair of bisectors of the angles between the two lines. So basically, A has something to do with ellipse. I think it's talking about the characteristics of ellipse. While B, the collection of points that are equally distant from a fixed point and a line, also have something to do with parabola. While C, the perpendicular bisector of the line, is just talking about perpendicular bisector. So it has nothing to do with the locus of a point equidistant from two intersecting lines. Okay, so D, pair of bisectors of the angles between the two lines. So our answer to this question is D. Okay, the locus of a point equidistant from two intersecting lines is pair of bisectors of the angles between the two lines. So our answer is D. Question 40. Two numbers are respectively 35% and 80% more than the third number. The ratio of the two numbers is, so let's move over to the board. So we say let the third number be 100x%. Okay, so this is the same thing as x. Okay, because 100x% means 100s over 100. So 100 will cancel out 100, leaving us with s. So the first number will be equals to 100x plus 35%. Okay, so this will give us 135x, okay, percent, which is 135x over 100. Now the second number is equals to 100x plus 80%. Okay, so this will leave us with 180x%. Okay, which is the same thing as 180x over 100. Now, since we are talking about ratio simply means division. So meaning the first number is being divided by the second number. So we'll be having 135x over 100 times, okay, so we invert the other one since they are dividing, 100 over 180x. So 100 we cancel out 100, s we cancel out 100. So that we're having 135 over 180. Of course, we can write this in ratio form to give us 135 ratio 180. Okay, so we try to reduce to the lowest term. So 5 here will give us 27 ratio, 5 here will give us 36. Okay, there's a value or there's a number that can divide 27 that can as well divide 36, and that number is 9. So 9 here is 3 ratio, 9 here will give us 4. Okay, so the ratio of the first number to the second number is 3 ratio 4. So let's move over to the screen to pick the correct option. Okay, so the correct option according to our calculation is option B, 3 ratio 4. I believe you are enjoying this video content. If so, please do not forget to like, subscribe, and put on the notification bell to get informed as soon as we upload new videos.